All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of dugongs.
Dugongs.
You might know them as sea cows, but
Yeah.
we're going to learn way more than that today.
More.
So we've got this essay all about dugongs.
Cool.
By the time we're done here, you'll be like dropping dugong trivia left and right.
Right.
But not just that. You'll really get why they matter to the whole ocean, to the ecosystem.
They're so important. Yeah.
Okay, so first off, can we just talk about their scientific name for a second?
Hit me with it.
It's dugong.
It's the best.
It's like they really wanted to make sure
They're like, we're dugongs.
we know what we are, yeah.
Sure.
And these are not small creatures either.
No, they get big.
Up to 3 meters long,
Wow.
weighing over 500 kilograms.
That's more than me.
That's like a small car just gracefully gliding through the seagrass meadows.
It's true, yeah. That torpedo shape really helps. And speaking of names, the name dugong actually comes from the Malay word duyung, which means lady of the sea.
Okay, stop, Lady of the Sea.
I know.
That is so perfect. Like, it really fits them, right?
Right.
And they have that, like, fluke tail, similar to a whale.
Right.
And that downward-facing snout, which I guess is totally built for, like, how they live and eat.
Absolutely. It's all about that seagrass diet.
Yeah, okay, but before we get to their diet, I'm curious, how does this differ from, like, their closest relative, the manatee? They both kind of have that, like, sea cow vibe, right?
Yeah, they do, but, evolution took them on slightly different paths. Manatees, they have these paddle-like tails,
Okay.
and they tend to have a wider variety of things they eat.
Oh, interesting.
Like, they'll munch on other aquatic plants, even sometimes some small invertebrates.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dugongs, though, they are true specialists.
Seagrass specialist.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that brings us to their diet. They are strict herbivores.
Strict.
Like the only early one marine mammals that are exclusive seagrass eaters.
I know, it's crazy.
Is that enough, though, like to sustain such big animals?
Right. It's a good question. It's surprisingly nutrient-rich.
Oh, okay.
And they've got these, like, really efficient digestive systems.
Oh, cool.
Just made to get everything they need from that seagrass.
So they just eat a ton of it, I guess.
They eat a ton of it, yeah, like massive quantities every day, uprooting entire plants with those strong snouts.
It's like underwater landscaping.
Exactly.
But imagine, like, all that constant grazing, it's got to have some effect on the seagrass meadows.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it's so important. It's like, think about it. If no one was trimming a lawn, right, it'd get super overgrown.
Yeah, totally.
And it's kind of the same with seagrass. They're like natural caretakers, right?
Oh.
The grazing prevents it from becoming too dense, and that actually allows more oxygen to get down there,
Oh, that's awesome.
which creates a healthier environment for everyone else living in those meadows.
Wow, so they're more than just eaters. They're like ecosystem engineers.
Right. It's incredible.
Okay, so we've covered what they look like, how they eat,
Mm.
but what about their social life? Are they loners? Are they party animals? What's the deal?
Well, they're generally pretty chill.
Chill.
Yeah, pretty docile creatures, often found in small groups, maybe a few individuals.
Okay.
But sometimes they'll gather in bigger groups if there's like a ton of seagrass in one spot.
Oh, that makes sense.
And what's interesting is they're actually quite vocal.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Chirps, whistles, they even bark.
They bark. That's not what I was picturing for the Lady of the Sea. What are they, like, yelling at each other about down there?
Well, scientists believe they communicate about food sources, maybe,
This is nice.
potential threats, or even, mating opportunities.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, every little chirp, every whistle, it could be a vital piece of information.
That's amazing. But sadly, our essay pointed out that even with all these amazing adaptations, these ladies of the sea are facing some pretty serious challenges.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So what are some of the biggest threats to their survival?
Well, there's a lot of things, unfortunately. So habitat destruction is one,
Okay.
just from coastal development, right?
Yeah,
And then there's pollution from runoff,
makes sense.
marine debris, getting entangled in fishing gear.
Oh, right.
And then, of course, there's climate change,
Yeah.
which affects the seagrass health and where it grows, how much of it there is.
It's like a whole web of issues, right?
All connected, yeah.
And our essay also mentioned that the dugong is listed as, what was it, vulnerable
Vulnerable, yes.
by the IUCN.
By the IUCN, yeah.
So can you remind us what that means exactly?
Yeah, so the IUCN, that's the International Union for Conservation of Nature,
Okay.
they assess the conservation status of species around the world.
Okay.
And when they say vulnerable, that means the dugong faces, a high risk of extinction in the wild.
Right, because of all these things we're talking about.
Exactly. And it's mainly human activities that are causing this, right? And the problem is they reproduce really slowly.
Oh, okay.
So it's hard for their populations to bounce back quickly.
That's a tough spot to be in for sure. But, it's not all doom and gloom, is it? There's got to be some efforts to protect them.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of great work happening. So there's marine protected areas, for example,
Oh, okay.
which protect those crucial seagrass habitats.
Makes sense.
And there's legislation being put in place to reduce accidental catches in fishing gear.
Well, that's good.
And public awareness campaigns, right, are super important to educate people
Totally.
about why these dugongs matter.
Absolutely. It's good to hear that people are fighting for them. So after this whole deep dive, what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, dugongs are way more than just cute sea creatures. They're essential for a healthy ocean.
Yeah.
They support so much biodiversity, and they even play a role in mitigating climate change.
Wow.
But their future, really, is in our hands.
Yeah, it's so true what you said about those seagrass meadows. They're lifeline, but they're also impacted by what we do up here on land.
That's right.
So as you're going about your day, think about the choices you're making,
Exactly.
how they might affect these underwater ecosystems.
Every little thing.
Even the smallest changes can help protect these incredible creatures
Absolutely.
and the whole delicate balance of life in the ocean, really.
It's all connected, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of dugongs.
My pleasure.
Keep exploring. And remember, there's always more to discover.
So much more.
All right, see ya.
See ya.